Night, Toxic, if I make an organization, will you guys join? And they were like, hell yeah. And now that's the beginning of Wild Boys right there.
How many teams do you have in the beginning?
Okay, so in the very beginning of Wild Boys, I didn't understand on how necessarily comp worked. I thought as if I get 5 players, I have a team. I didn't understand that you had to have the best of the best, or they all had to be champ. So me, Knight, and Toxic decided to make 23 teams in Wild Boys when we first started. And half the team were coppers, half were like silvers, a couple plats. I think we had 1 diamond for 23 teams. And then, yeah, and then through then, we became more knowledgeable in the comp scene. And now, today, I'm pretty sure we have 12 teams.
So to also go off of that, is there like one player or a specific player or specific team that helped you gain popularity?
Yes. So, are you guys familiar with the guy named Cosmic?
A little.
Okay. So, Cosmic, one day, I was sitting there on Wild Boys posting looking for org/players. I was going, hey, join Wild Boys. We're this and that. Well, Cosmic reached out, and his team at the time was called Code Black. And they were, in my opinion, probably one of the best teams in comp at the time. And Cosmic was like, hey, I have a really good team looking for an org. I'm willing to help get you started and etc. So I was like, shit, help me out. Well, Cosmic, me, Knight, and Toxic all got in a VC, and we talked. And next thing later, Code Black joined Wild Boys, and from there, we took off like a rocket ship. I think we went from 50 people in our Discord server to 500 in a matter of 2 months. So when I say we skyrocketed, it was very fast.
All right.
Crazy.
And so you kind of contribute your success a little bit to picking up Code Black and all that, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Without
right,
Cosmic, we would have had a very rough start. Absolutely, 100%.
All right. And kind of going back to your players a little bit, who was your favorite when your org was still developing? If you had to pick, if you had to.
Ooh, see, I can't answer that because
Can't answer.
you got to realize.
I understand. Yeah.
From an org owner, if I pick one person, the other person will be like, "Oh, I thought you liked me," and it's just gonna start little fights, and we'll stay away from that conversation.
We'll stay away from the drama on the podcast. It's only episode 1.
Yep.
We'll stay away.
Exactly. Yep. So, but I did have a couple favorite teams. Obviously, Code Black. And believe it or not, 619 was our very first team to ever win us a trophy for our organization. They won D2 Scissor League. And they got a little trophy for it. And that was our, believe it or not, that was our very first team. And ever since then, 619 was with us for a little bit. They left due to certain issues and they came back. So 619 is probably one of the most loyal teams we've had, believe it or not.
Okay. Looking back from what you know now and all your hindsight and experience, what would you change?
So I came into the comp community wealthier than most. And one thing I did wrong, I would say, is I implemented a pay-per-win system to a certain extent, that which wasn't really known at comp at the time. So I was offering around $30 to $40 per win. This is just for a single league game, $40 for the win. And then when you win the league, you keep all the earnings. We don't want no percentage. Well, frankly, since I came in there making the level of money-wise, people started getting used to it. So when we had to lower it, it kind of people kind of got a little bit cranky. But thankfully now, we are the only organization that I know of that currently pays pay-per-win. So now it's not an issue. But before, it was HMC. And when we implemented pay-per-win, I'm pretty sure they followed us. At least that's how I see it. And they basically made us hold to a certain standard, if that makes sense. We couldn't drop it to a certain extent, because if we did, they would pick up the team. Well, now, since no one's paying anymore, we control the entire market, which is a great thing. But if I could go back in time, I would have offered our starting prices a lot lower. A lot lower.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know, in the comp scene, I've played since, year 2 in comp, roughly. and there was never a pay per win back then. And I think you were the first org I'd ever heard of who had started paying per player. And I did hear some crazy amounts at first. I was surprised.
Oh, yeah.
I was shocked. But I mean, yeah, now it's died out a little bit, which is good. I think that's a lot better because it's not.
Oh, yeah,
It's
100%.
not too much. It's not forcing one org to be better than the other. It's competition
Absolutely.
now, which is good. So
It's
now that
gotten
we've heard
to-
about your past, let's kind of look to now. So you want to go ahead, cards?
Yeah, going off of, let's say the past year, what is your favorite accomplishment from any team, any player?
I think our best accomplishment, believe it or not, it actually has nothing to do with the team. I think it's our staff. I had the chance to go leave and do some personal things, and our staff held down the organization perfectly. For example, we have a staff member named Julia Garbo. He's pretty known. Knight. And believe it or not, when an owner leaves, such as myself, leaves an organization for, let's say, 2 to 3 months at a time, most of the time the org collapses. It disappears, things stop running. Well, our staff team is set up perfectly. We're like a big family. And with that family, I can leave for, 8 months at a time. And the org's perfectly fine. We have a great budget plan. Recently, I was looking at our budget. So to put in perspective on how we're doing, we are pulling in around $1,200 a month from org money, like pulling it in for free use. So with that gives us a lot of free movement and etc.
All right, talking about the current, is there any player in the past year or so that's like risen crazy in your org that you're like, in the beginning wasn't very well known, wasn't good at the game necessarily? I mean, not necessarily, but just wasn't known, and now that they've developed into your org, that they're shining.
No, I gotta be honest. So one thing about our org that we do differently is when teams run an organization, the owner usually manages the team. Well, for me, as a team joins, as you know, Sprays, I mean, you joined with Redemption, we give you guys full control. So you guys switch in players, switch out. So all we look at is your statistics, but in reality, the team is all up to you. So if there's one player, though, that I have, well, a couple, would have to be Andy. He's pretty known, very known through the comp. He just played with Jinxie recently, and that's a huge flex. I mean, seeing one of your players hop on a Jinxie podcast with 30,000 to 40,000 people watching, and him carrying them, I mean, pretty sure Andy dropped like 32 kills in the game they were playing. And for that right there is just a flex. And knowing that he's part of your organization, I mean, what else could you ask for,
Take it away, cards, with this next one.
Yeah, sorry. Is there, in the same sort of idea, is there at least a team that you'd say has improved by themselves as of recent?
CC, they have improved dramatically. Before they weren't doing all that well. They would choke in playoffs, first, second round they would choke. And recently they've been making it to finals, and the only reason they're losing because of Obey. And I mean, everybody knows Obey is probably one of the best teams, if not the best. And still to see CC from going to a team where before we picked them up, they were never hitting the final mark in the major leagues. And now seeing them hit the finals, compete with Obey, I'm pretty sure they just beat Obey today, which is a huge accomplishment for them. And these guys are great. They've been with us for, I think, in 3 months. Great group of guys. Love them. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't tune into the game, but I saw it was a close one. I think it was an 8-7 victory for CC, so that was a good game. But staying on the realm of teams, do you happen to have any PC teams going at this time?
EU PC team called Wild Boys EU, and they're doing fantastic. But at the same time, once you do really well in a T3 PC league, they start looking for more organizations. So frankly, hope not, but we might lose that team here soon. But as of right now, we are currently in the making of an NA PC team. It's looking pretty stacked right now. Hopefully by next month, that team will be launched.
Any players you can give us so far, or you don't want to give anything away too early?
Man, that's all secret, man. Can't give you all my details.
Come on, man.
I keep it secret.
Okay,
Oh,
fair enough. Okay, And then what I would say is, do you have any other teams in like any other games? Or are you
What do
only
you mean?
a R6 org? You know, or do you have like a COD team, like a?
So we have an Overwatch team that's currently in playoffs in a league. They're doing fantastic. We're currently in the works of an not Overwatch, sorry, Rocket League team, and they're currently competing. We used to have a COD team. As of right now, they're on hold because we want to. With our COD team, we really wanted to expand them to a LAN, but currently our focus has been on so much other things that our COD team's talent is getting wasted online, and we really want to send them to a LAN. So as of right now, they're on, like, we call them a hold. So besides that, we got an Overwatch. Summarize it all. We have an Overwatch team, a Rocket League team, and a COD team that's put on hold, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. Let's talk about the future of Wild Boys, though. You know, let's look a little bit farther in there. Do you plan on
absolutely.
adding? Do you plan, like, for your teams? Do you plan on adding more? Do you plan on adding less? Is there any real plan you have yet?
Believe it or not, we are trying to get out of the R6 console scene, not entirely, but to cut it back to almost 3 teams. So with console comp, frankly, as everybody knows, Ubisoft has pretty much given up on it. And it's sad to see, but there's no profit. There's literally nothing in console comp besides passion. And as you've known, a lot of other orgs have decided to leave. Well, with our big presence, with currently in the R6 console community, if we were to leave, that would hit heavily. With sponsors-wise, entries-wise, things would definitely go down. With that being said, the future of Wild Boys isn't, believe it or not, is not with esports. We are moving into game hosting. So before, past a long time ago, before I even ran an organization, I ran things called ARC servers. You guys familiar with those?
Not entirely.
Not sure.
Okay. So back in the day, when 2016 to 2020, there used to be ARC servers where you could join and play, and it was when ARC was at its peak. Well, I owned 3 of the biggest NA ARC servers. I made around $100,000 through donations hosting ARC. Well, ARC died, so I had to move on, hinting why I moved here. Well, our future for Wild Boys is to, when GTA comes out, we have a roleplay server. You guys familiar with 5M?
Somewhat, yeah.
I've heard of it.
I would just explain to the audience sort of what that is, though.
Okay, so 5M is a GTA 5 roleplay. It's when GTA first came out, it was everywhere. That's all people streamed. Pretty sure Kai Cenat, Phantom, and all those guys, they did like a little roleplay scene here recently. But and same with Aiden Ross. Every big streamer you've seen it do it at least once. Well, with GTA 6 coming out, it's probably going to have the same reaction. When GTA drops, it's going to be the game for the next 3 years. That's all what everybody's going to be playing. It's going to be the only game that's going to be streamed. And at least I'm going off of what we saw from GTA 5. Well, what we plan on doing is I've already contacted some people, and we plan on buying 100,000 person server. And with that, we're going to start hosting through it.
Okay.
So with GTA, we plan on making a huge profit through the 5M community, expand into ARC2, and expand into different games through game hosting. And then from those profits, we'll relate it back to console and try to sponsor more, make bigger prize pools, and make it like an ecosystem, if that makes sense. Like kind of like an economy, you know?
Okay, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing to go from, though. Was there any major moment where you decided, you just realized that console comp wasn't going to do it, and you just wanted to try to expand a little more, or is it just a gradual thing?
With the listeners listening, don't take this in the wrong way, but when we became the biggest and there was no other competition, it gave us the ability to look past the competition at itself and look towards the future. And that's when we started to because before we were always chasing somebody. We were chasing HMC, we were chasing Double OG, and once we passed the organizations, there was no one to chase. So we were like, okay, now from looking down, let's take a broad look at the console comp community. It's the same people. If you look at the streams, the casting, like the 15 to 20 viewers, it's the same people. There's no new people joining. If anything, people are leaving. So with that aspect, it's like, why should we stay here if people are leaving and nobody's joining? Like hell, I put a $500 sponsorship on SSL, and that will make it the biggest prize pool in the past year for console. And we still have teams disbanding. You know, and it's like, seeing that, it's like, after we gave almost $1,000 for a sponsorship, there's nothing we can do to change it. So that's why we, want to get out of the scene, if that makes sense.
That's fair enough. I mean, I get that. It's at the end of the day, you still got to think somewhat of a business mindset as much as you enjoy it,
Absolutely.
I get that. What I would say then is, do you ever plan on trying to develop console in terms of media presence, or no? Do you just want to just sort of leave your three?
So
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Got ourselves a banger of a game, or at least what should be. Alchemists, Monarchs, two relatively strong teams. Got ourselves ripping here with us. Who do you think is gonna win this one out?
I don't know. Last time these two teams played, Alchemists and Monarchs, both in Champions League and in SSL, we did see, I think it was Alchemists come out on top 7-4 in both games. I believe one was on Clubhouse. I don't know what the maps are for today. I know we at least have Night Haven. I would give the edge to Alchemists. They're the higher seed after all, and they have a better history. But once you see someone so many times, you start figuring out their tricks. It's who can adapt first, I think.
I mean, yeah, I tend to agree. I think this is really going to be that kind of chess match. And to be fair, one of our maps is going to be Clubhouse, so we do at least see, some history there between these two teams on that map. Other ones are going to be Border, and then obviously Night Haven for that map 1. Should be a banger of a series.
I'd have to be agreeing with you on that one. Those sound like good maps. I mean, while Clubhouse takes you back to the basics, I don't know if that's map 2 or map 3. That map will really show what teams, feeling themselves. Clubhouse always goes back to everyone has a club. Everyone has to know the basics. You have to know what to hold, know what to push. And it just comes down to who can play more fundamental Siege at the end of the day.
Exactly. I mean, I think both these teams would obviously prefer to end it before we reach that dreadful map 3, but we'll see. I think that these teams could certainly go to that distance, and I think that both teams at least have the potential to win this one out.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't count anyone out once you get to playoffs. I mean, everyone's got a shot. Anyone can have a bad day. Anyone could advance on. We saw it last season with 619. They had their beautiful princess run all the way to finals just to lose out to Obey. Obey isn't here. It's anyone's series at the end of the day.
I mean, yeah, that's, I think, the fun of playoffs is, I think there's so much variety between teams, and we can always see an upset here.
Absolutely. Well, starting off, we got Basement. I'm seeing a Bandit. We're seeing our Hard Breach. It looks like it's probably going to be more of a vert take, just judging about why they have no way to get rid of the Bandit wires. They have to get vertical control, no Mav. Ace Therm, I mean, you're looking to get Warehouse Wall open up some pressure onto your guys in storage and your guys in Rafters, just so you could probably work an Amethyst. I see mostly everyone spawning Park and Helipad, so you're guessing it's going to be definitely a storage to Warehouse take, trying to clear upstairs, get as much bird as you can. I'm curious to see if there's anyone pushing over towards the kitchen side of the map. That's a good pinch to try and stop them from rotating down Exo. Also, I wonder if they're going to have someone on cargo window to hold a cross as well.
I could certainly see it happening. I think that with these takes, you have to be so careful, because if you are on a hard roam, as we're probably going to see 2-3 bodies up here, if you lose one of those main ways out, so if you lose your, one of your stair players, or you lose cargo super fast, that can already dismantle the round right there.
Absolutely. And it looks like it is going to be mostly a kitchen over type of clear, which you do have the Goyo of DZ over here playing kitchen. Looks like he's been playing a little more suicide. So I'm going to see how well Alchemist can kind of pinch this guy. That's going to show me what their fundamentals look like. We see Zinx and DZ maybe could be the first engagement here.
Just got to be very careful in a round like this. these first rounds are so important for your momentum as a team and really have a statement and show we're here. But
absolutely sets the absolute pace of the whole game. Once you start getting on into your mojo, once you get into your momentum, it's real hard to stop some teams. So it's whoever can lock in first, settle in first, and figure out what they want to do.
agreed. Ram there, maybe a little bit unintentional, but does push back the Goyo here. Gives a little bit of space, maybe.
Yeah,
If you
Goyo
drop,
isn't going off too early, which I'm happy with. I mean, a minute 30, you're still burning good time. That's easy coverage for the attackers to get. The question is, how long is Goyo going to stay on these exo stairs, and how long is Seer going to stay in storage? If they're able to hold, I say till about 30 to 45 seconds, it's an absolute win for the defenders. It's going to be extremely hard for the attackers to try and get enough time to get a plant down.
I mean, yeah, I tend to agree, but in a game like this, it seems that it's going to be so close. You're going to run into times where it'll be down to the wire just in terms of health and seconds. And I think especially with a team like Monarchs, where we've seen them been able to execute with 15, 20 seconds left, you can never truly count them out of a round.
Absolutely. Well, there it is. I mean, we still have Sincere playing here in storage. That makes a default plant, if they get exit control, almost impossible unless they do challenge him. I'm curious to see if they try and challenge him. Do they have Pseudo on bottom waterfall drone? Sincere with a beautiful shot to Toxic on Kitchen. That was an absolute beauty. That helps get them the opening pick for Monarchs. You have to try and get a refrag if you're Alchemist here. And I just don't see them pushing with only 25 seconds left. They are running out of time here.
Gonna have to really hope for something. Zinx at least getting his body in there, trying to find something, but trades go out. It's still gonna be an even game. As this time winds down, it looks ever so more likely that Monarchs got this one cleaned up. But the first is, you can try and plan all you want, but with 3 seconds on the board and bodies following Monarchs, this one should be a done deal.
Absolutely. See, that's the thing, is they took a little too much time on their execute. I want to see them maybe bring a shield. A shield will help them clear out those guys, help get rid of the guy in storage. That would help create space, but it's the first round. Who's going to see what's going to happen, right? It's up to the players.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a game like this, you have to be so careful because we've seen Alchemists on Nighthaven. We know how aggressively they can play things. Huh. Sorry, just a visual glitch on my end. My game was tweaking for a second.
Yeah, mine was good on this part, so.
As long as that's the case.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Overall, looks to be a relatively normal play of upstairs. Obviously, without that Azami, you're going to have to adjust a little bit. Not going to have the flexibility you normally have, but you still have your basics. You still have your cage, your castle, your clash.
Absolutely. And you also have your Warden to play Waterfall. I mean, I know Alchemist is known for making these hero plays. They do like to have a single flanker. They like to have someone kind of backstab while the main push happens and forms. I'm interested to see what kind of move they make, because they're bringing both the Harbor, so I'm imagining they're going to try to get both IT and connect with all of it. I'm curious to see what they're taking at the end of the day, and if they send someone Waterfall late.
I tend to agree, and I'm a little bit surprised here we're not seeing a shield from either Tactics or even Toxic at times. I think that in normally these top bro, ads are okay. Sorry, my ads are tweaking apparently on Twitch. So fun.
Twitch is like that. They're greedy. I know Zinx used to play the Monty back in the day, so they have a lot of good shield players that can definitely play the shield. I'm curious to see if they go down 0-2 or 0-3 here. Do they try and switch it up and say, hey, maybe we got to get more ground and maybe bring a shield?
It certainly wouldn't surprise me, and I think a team with Alchemist, we've seen a lot of flexibility within their players. Even DCAG could really fall back and play a little bit more of a flex role if they need it. I think that gives them a bit of an X factor here where they have a lot more flexibility in terms of roles compared to Monarchs, where I think that a lot of them are much more set.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Again, hit by that Afteroff. That's good damage, and he's struggling to find the K clock. Can he find it? Can D-Tag find it? Let's see. There
He does
go.
find one. The Madman runs across. It'll be too late for a K trick here as the wall does go down, and the more we see this time wind down, even with your main walls opening, with no opening pick for Alchemist, it's just going to constantly advantage that defense is, you know, getting closer and closer to a really risky play.
Absolutely. And I like how the duo also have connector wall open. I'm curious to see what their kind of win factor is. Are they going to use Zinx underneath with the Deimos to shoot through these bottom walls? And that's exactly what it looks like they are going to do. They're going to try and get rid of... There it is. There's the opening pick on the electrical. And they may even be able to find a second on the DZ on the Warden. Playing right there. He's shooting through the floor. Absolutely. Beautiful play with Zinx on that Deimos. That pistol's very strong. It can do a lot of soft destruction. I'm curious to see, can they keep pinching since they have a lot of good control here?
Certainly, I think it's going to be down to Sincere here in the end, as he's going to be the bastion on the defense. DZ finds a pretty big one there. But at the end, you need to hold if you're Sincere. You are the wall to save your team from the oncoming assault.
Good shots being shot here. I'm surprised the Axe hasn't tried to, like, maybe Ash rocket that Clash Shield. That Clash Shield forming to be a problem right now. Where's the other pressure? So Tactics has Warehouse. That's a very good cross to have. I want to see, can he walk in? Can he make any ground happen? Zinx underneath with the Deimos trying to kill Clash. He needs to hit these shots. He needs to create space for his team. They're running out of time. The
Recap finds a big one. 2 bodies left as time winds down. This one looks to be all but over. DZ might clean him up with a 2v1. You might be able to pad the stats, but at the end of the day, Monarchs have the round and a very great start for them.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a way to maintain your ground even while being pinched. They maintained, even though Zinx was underneath, they would just rotate out, rotate back in, and no one was there to catch the cross. That's kind of why I wanted to see them to push a little more in the connector. I mean, as soon as you kill that electrical guy, you should be taking that space and not allowing someone else to filter back in, because that's a win condition right there. If you are able to take electrical and then hold their crosses while Deimos keeps tracking, you can pick one guy off after another.
Yeah, that'd certainly be an amazing plan. Alchemists really need to pull it together here. I would think it's going to be pretty detrimental if we see a 3-0 start.
Absolutely. On a map like this, it is traditionally, it can be attacker side depending on the bans. But, I mean, you got to see at least 2-3 rounds for Alchemist to even want a prayer in this. If we start seeing 3-0, 4-0, I fear that this map might be a wash for them, and they're just looking forward to the next one.
I mean, you'd certainly not hope that, especially with Monarchs themselves being a relatively great border team. So far, I have as their stats being 4-2 in recent play, and against good teams, too. We're not seeing against these, you know, humbugs of the world. We're seeing them wins on that map against... Shit, my bad. Not never like that. We see Voltage, and then we also see Wild Boy CC pre when everything went to crap.
Oh yeah, I mean border. I mean that's a gunfight map. You got to be able to hold your angles, win gunfights, and it's really who's going to get their shot first. I mean, we're still very early in the series. I mean, still plenty of time for both teams to settle in. Right now, Monarchs look like the more settled in team, though.
Yeah, and I think that these early rounds matter so much more in the grand scheme of things. It really gives you that statement piece, and it makes you feel so secure as a team, especially if you can get that first one on the board. You know, you have a little bit of space to work with.
Absolutely. And I mean, another big thing that people don't talk enough about is getting that first kill. Everyone on Monarchs has their first kill. And Toxic, he's the only one on his team. Once you start getting to your 0-3, 0-4 range, you start getting in your head. I'm a player, and that gets into my head when you start losing rounds on rounds you had an opening kill in. Like last round, Alchemist had the opening kill, and not being able to convert those rounds.
I mean, yeah, I'd certainly agree here. I think that especially those entries is much more of a tone setting thing than even an advantage. Is you just feel, you know, if we can consistently see the picks come in from Monarchs here in the early rounds, I think that alone is a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes you feel a lot more comfortable as a player knowing your players can kill the other team. Whenever you feel like you are just the better team, it is much easier to play than whenever going against a team that just seems unstoppable.
I'd agree, and I think that surprisingly, despite the relatively high expectations for DCAG here, and even Tactics as arguably the best rookie this year, we haven't seen too much from them so far. It's been a relatively quiet start.
Yeah, I played with ECAG. He used to be on a team of mine. Same thing with Zinx. I know what he's capable of. It's just can he activate and get the right support around him to help get him these multi-kills that I know he can get?
Something we got to look for. Pseudo might aggress here, see if he can find one on tactics, but question is he going to go for that level of crazy plays? Is he really going to try and fight for that first pick, or let this time just kind of wind down and let it come to him?
The Frostmat gets tactics. That's your warehouse gone. Diabolical gets zincs. That's not even the guy in the Frostmat. They're losing bodies in drastic fashion right now. They do have warehouse control. That is good. But you're not getting enough control for 35 seconds left. You need to have upstairs by now. It looks like it's just going to be a slight window jump, but they have nitros pre-placed. Monarchs coming away with the kills. They are struggling. It's ECAG and Toxic alive. Toxic dies to the nitro, so it's just ECAG. Left all alone, he dies to Sincere. Sincere gets 2. And this is what I'm trying to see. Their time management is very lackluster right now.
Yeah, and I think that a map like this where you cannot afford to waste a lot of time. Everything has to be very regimented. You cannot even have seconds wasted when plants and executes can take so long. But we didn't even see verticality control at all, and we didn't even see a plant execute until the last seconds with 2 bodies down. It doesn't feel like the same team.
I mean, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, if you're going to go for a more direct site take after getting IT wall open and rammed open, you have to bring an IQ and you have to bring a Ying so you can check for underneath if there's a C4 player, and if you can Ying out the guys in storage and then hard take that site and flood it. That's the only way it works, because if you don't do that, they're going to nitro, they're going to shoot you. I mean, it's a single window jumping for 3 different angles you have to hold.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Alchemists. They need to find a consistent entry player. We need to see more from, their aggressive players, because so far it's just they've been getting wiped early on.
Absolutely. I mean, Monarchs 2-0 on their entry, or 2-1 on their entries, and every round they've gone their entry, they've won. So when you're looking at Alchemist, you're wanting to see that if they get this entry pick, they have to convert the round. The one round they did get it, they didn't convert the round. I want to see them work the entry and then slow down, take a step back, and then see if the Nuggets can get a rebound. I mean, you have to play it step by step. It seems like they aren't doing enough. It seems like they're taking too much time. Every round so far has been beat them by the clock.
Yeah, and I think that it's a bigger issue than just, 30 seconds can fix a round. I think we should see a timeout from Alchemist to really address it, but I don't think we will. Because I think something as large as time clock management needs a little bit more than, what that little in between rounds provides.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to see if they're going to do the same thing. Because if they are, I worry, because they took a very long time to get kitchen control, a very long time to get exo control, and by that time, it was already a man disadvantage. But there's no one for Monarchs that's realistically on site. They're just now running back into nanotech. If Alchemists were to rush this, they could get site control real quick. But as I say that, Recap and Diabolical are back in site. That stops any kind of potential rush.
At minimum, though, they did at least get a little hard reach on the wall, a little bit of pressure they have to worry about from now.
Absolutely. I'm confused by what their take is here. They're not taking the common ground I would expect. When you're doing a top-down clear, you'll push through like Waterfall and IT. If you're doing just horizontal over, you'll push from kitchen and have a guy either on vending window or storage window. I'm seeing them trying to push from cargo, and that's a really hard spot to take from, because not only do you get off of control from rapid cargo clear, these are all favorable defender angles. As I say that, tactics gets the opening kill. That is absolutely massive, because now you have complete storage control.
Yeah, you can really use this to leapfrog yourself and maybe clear out the entire room fast if you're lucky, but I think it's finally good that the rookie can get on the board here for entry.
Absolutely. I want to see what DZ can do. Does Averix get this kill here? Does DZ able to evil out this manpower? That's what I'm going to really try and find out here.
I think it's certainly the bigger issue, and
there it is.
He finds it pretty easily, it looks to be, and with no damage or a trade in sight, Tactics at least finds another to try and keep it.
Present, I believe. Yep, the last 3 defenders are in sight with a minute and 15 seconds, which is absolutely perfect for Alchemists. They have a man advantage, they have verticality, All you have to do now is work a place. You have to work Exo. You have to work Amethyst. I want to see someone drone, someone either take through Exo, which it doesn't look like it's going to be an Exo take. It looks like it's going to be an Amethyst either hatch drop or it's going to be through the little single wall. I want to see an Alchemist team get vertical on the pillar, and I want to see them get rid of recap. That's the big player right now.
I mean, yeah, you cannot leave a player like him unattended, especially when you're already down 3 rounds. You don't have the comfortability to experiment here. You need to just get something on the board and prove you can at least put something there.
Absolutely. With Marks only have 1 C4, trying to deny a plan is going to mostly come down to the gun. 30 seconds left. It is going to be an Amethyst pass drop. There's the Nitro Cell. There's DZ getting a pick. They have taken the man vans back. Tactics able to return it. It is all up to Tactics to realistically try and get this done. Zinx off in Narnia on top cargo. You have to make a move. You have 15 seconds left.
You need to find something here if your Tactics is... Zinx might be able to get some damage, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to you. You might be able to find one, but it won't matter as DZ finishes with a pistol, and Monarchs look like a beast that cannot be stopped. They just are amazingly able to delay the time as long as they can, and every single time.
Absolutely. I mean, the refrags there looked absolutely beautiful. Every single time someone got a kill, it was immediately traded back. I mean, that is exactly fundamental siege that you want to see. Up 4-0, I'm fearing for Alchemists right now because this is normally a pretty good map for them, and Monarchs looks goddamn deadly.
It's certainly a big worry, as I think everyone really expected at minimum a pretty big performance here. Not a really big surprise. We see Alchemists take that timeout, going down 4-0, and I think it'd be more surprising if they didn't.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're in this timeout, you have to start talking amongst yourselves. What is going wrong? Is it our drones? Is it our time management? How are we not getting the opening kill? In fact, I have them as 2 for 2 in the opening kill, and they haven't been able to maintain their advantage. The only advantage they were able to maintain was that 4-on-3 last round, and as soon as someone died to that Nitro Cell, another body gave up, and all Marks had to do was play refrag there, and they won the round.
Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, though, we need to see more from what is supposed to be the superstar of Alchemist here, DCAG, starting very slow and not even really putting up the entry numbers he needs to, and you cannot afford to have that in a game that's so important. When you're down 4-0, you need to have your superstars showing out, not the rookie.
Absolutely. DCAG, I mean, he has one of their 2 opening kills. Tactics has the other one. I want to see more aggression. I need them to be taking quicker. Bring a shield. Bring a Ying. You have to bring some stuff, something to open some space. It doesn't look like Monarchs is doing any hero flanks or anything like that, so you don't even have to bring any of the gridlocks or nomads that some teams normally bring. It looks like they're going to bring a very relatively same lineup, just minus the thermite, which I'm not hating. If you just want to directly take, get some ground, play Burt with the Deimos, that's what I want to see so you can work an opening kill.
Yeah, and I think that this round is arguably more important than pretty much anything besides the opening one. If they can at least prove that this timeout was worth something and they still got something left in the tank, I think we still have a game here. But if, Monarchs win this one out, especially if it's a dominant one, I think this game is over.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to see some kind of life from Alchemist here. I mean, I haven't seen much. They seem to be much more on the back foot, taking steps back as Alchemist seems to be taking more of a lead. I want to see some aggression. I need to see some pushback.
I'd agree, and I especially think that we're just not seeing a real edge of it or an advantage in terms of stats. The entry kills are not dominant as they usually are. We're not seeing the trades anywhere close they need to be. The refrags aren't there. Nothing is there right now that makes you believe that Alchemist is the team that deserves the highest seed, the team that was the one that was supposed to be upset. So far, it looks like they're getting absolutely dominated.
Yeah, I have to agree there. I mean, I'm confused of why I'm not seeing, like, a Ying, a Grim. I want to see some ops to create some space and to get you into a room. When you play a Ying and you Ying out electrical, or you bring grenades and flashes and grenade and flash out electrical, you're able to take that space and thus make the defenders uncomfortable and crammed. I haven't seen that yet, which I'm concerned, to say the least.
I mean, yeah, I think that we're not seeing any aggression or any aggressive ops, really, for a team that is so normally expected to have, these, not even shield stretch, just something.
Here's what I'm wondering. DZ on the Vigil on bottom Exo. DCAG and Zinx both up here. Does he get away with this kill? And I want to see who gets away with his opening kill. Oh my god, they're neck and neck.
He's stuck between 2 bodies. He doesn't even really know. Zinx literally just sitting right in the corner.
Looking at him. There it is.
Maybe a little bit
Monarchs
late,
with an opening kill.
but it looks like he's going to be able to get this one freebie with no real anything to stop him, and a flank right back up might catch him even more here.
Absolutely, and that's your Deimos dead. That's all your verticality. You are now stuck trying to push straight head on against the Flash and the Mira. Look at this flank. He's moving. He's avoided the Claymores. Toxic behind you. Look, Castle.
And he doesn't even know yet.
Gets his kill. Use the flank cams. DZ has single-handedly changed the flow of this round with a roam that Alchemist, put simply, we're not expecting.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing, is it just feels like we're not seeing anything really that's just unique or truly what makes Alchemist Alchemist.
Absolutely. I mean, when I see Alchemist, usually I'm expecting a solid take, and then I'm watching for that deadly backstab that DCAG is known for. I'm not seeing it right now.
You might be able to pad the stats here, maybe at least make it look a little better if you're the rookie, but this one is probably over unless we see a little bit of fairy dust sprinkled onto the round.
Maybe. But I mean, with tactics down to such low HP, anything kills them. As I say that, I mean, he gets 3. It's not enough time, but it's got to feel good for the rookie to at least put some fight back. But, I mean, with your team down in a 1v5, there isn't much you can do.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing what is a bit of a unique play for the entirety of Alchemist. So we normally see the rookie who has performed amazing. Wizard is not a bad player. There's a reason he's arguably a top rookie right now, but he's not normally the one being carried or carrying them more accurately. Normally he's able to work within DCAG in this team, but instead we're seeing a huge step down from the superstars, and we're seeing the rookie out of all people really pull all the weight.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, I mean, you have to salvage something here for your Alchemist. I mean, you're fighting every tooth and nail in playoffs. There is no next time when it comes to playoffs. In the regular season, there's always the next game. Yeah. In playoffs, it's one and done here. There is no elimination bracket. There is no double limit. It is you play your opponent and you play till you lose.
Certainly, and I think that it's normally a bit of an astonishment here as we're seeing a team that Monarchs, who's generally very good at delaying the roam. They're not a bad team at it. But it looks to be so dominant right now where Alchemist can't even get anything done. I think this is a severe step up that no one saw coming, where we're seeing players that generally don't even really go into the realm of truly good roamers, and we're seeing them perform as a top, 15 roamer on Console League.
Absolutely. I mean, Monarchs can play today. That's all you can say as far as the scoreline goes right now. Monarchs looks ready. They look like they've been practicing this map. They look like they're really good right now. And Alchemist looks like they've taken a back step. I mean, it doesn't look like anything like the Alchemist I'm normally used to watching.
Yeah, and I think that's just the big surprise here is we're just not even seeing the team that we expected. We expected this aggression, this truly almost unstoppable duo where we've seen so far in the regular season of DCAG and Tactics, but so far it's been Tactics, and even then, one man is not enough to change the game.
Absolutely. Unless that man is dropping 20 kills, he is not enough to change what a collective team can do. I mean, you look on the side of Monarchs 4-2, 4-2, 9-3, 3-3, 2-3. Everyone's contributing, and DZ is being the spearhead. When I look at Alchemist, I mean, you're seeing 2-5, 1-4, and then you have Tactics at 8-5 spearheading, and then Toxic 0-5, 2-3. These players, they don't seem to be settled in just yet.
Certainly.
As I say that, I mean, I'm liking the ground they're getting. They have server wall open. I'm happy to see this. Easy now seems to be isolated. If they have a drone on him, they should be able to isolate him for a kill.
I think they need that here to at least show they can, take care of at least some of the big guys here. Oh, with a bit of an aggression shown from him, he might find one pretty big entry here. Is he has what he needs, and now he can just sit in the corner. Hater finds another. It's just looking to be just absolute dominance, and there's nothing that Alchemists even are doing. Get a trades, at least they come out, and Avara does find one.
That's great refrags. They just played fantastic refrag game there. I mean, you can't complain at all with how Monarchs just played that round. That was textbook Siege. They got their opening pick. They got aggressive when they needed to. And as soon as Alchemists tried to rebound and get some picks back, they immediately pounced on them and got their refrags.
Certainly, and I think that the big astonishment here is we saw Tactics, who was not a bad player, went 51-48 in between that regular season, but we're seeing him take a big step up, and it just feels like his entire team isn't ready. I know he's been practicing, he was grinding before this, and I think we're seeing that where the passion might be there for one and the true dedication, but it just feels like Alchemists don't have it right now.
No, and I want to see at least Alchemists take a round or two. They don't have to win this map, but they have to win a round or two to at least get some kind of momentum into when they go to board saying, hey, yes, we can win rounds. Yes, we can get kills. These guys are not unbeatable. But if you lose 7-0, 7-1 even, you're going to the next map feeling like shit. I mean, you're feeling chalked out. And you're just not going to play as you normally do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at this point we're trying to find the words to. There isn't any reason this should be happening. All signs pointed towards a very dominant Alchemist start, but no matter how much you look at the stats, no matter how much you understand, what should happen, sometimes hope, perseverance, and a little bit of determination, we see a bit of the upset here.
Absolutely, and I mean, I want to see. It's all like I said. All I want to see is Alchemists at least get a round or two. That way, you go into the next map thinking, "Hey, we may have gotten absolutely beat the crap out of, but we at least can win some rounds here. Next map's going to be different."
I mean, yeah, I think you're just looking for something here, just some semblance of the team that we really expected. Alchemist might be poised for a better, obviously, defensive half, as this is their better side on Nighthaven by a margin of 17%. But at the end of the day, is that really going to be enough?
17%, I mean, when you think of those ratios, I mean, when I play Skyscrapers, I'm expecting us to win 4 or 5 rounds on defense. If we win 6, one attack is not going to stand us. Nighthaven is much less defender-sided. I mean, if I'm Monarch, I'm thinking, all right, one lucky round, 1 round, DZ gets 3 of them while rushing up Waterfall. I mean, you just need 1 lucky round at the end of the day. And with the way Monarchs are playing, they won't need luck. Their skill seems to be doing much more than what's needed.
I think the bigger surprise, in my opinion, is we're seeing, it feels like almost a switch of roles. We're seeing the aggressive, roam-heavy gameplay from Monarchs, and Alchemists look like they've kind of become what Monarchs was, which was a slow team that sort of plays these very, methodical executes, but it just feels like it's just a big swap of roles.
Absolutely. It looks like we're going to be getting an IT and Waterfall take. With the Blitz taking Waterfall, he's definitely going to take some ground. They don't have a Warden that's going to play over here. With Toxic playing the mute, that does stop Blitz from flashing his shield. I don't know if he has a mute jammer over here, and he should have a Nitro. That makes trying to kill that Blitz a little bit easier, but they got good ground right now. I mean, with Pseudo bottom Waterfall, he might be able to rat for a pick here. He's jumping through Waterfall. He hit the Goyle. He's lost a lot of health. That makes the Nitro of Toxic that much scarier, because even if Sincere is looking dead at it, it's going to definitely deal all of his health. He's going to be dead as soon as he blows that Nitro.
That's certainly the issue, and we see at least one C4 go out as Pseudo goes down first, and Decag, for what feels like the first time in a long time, finds the big entry.
Absolutely. It's glad to see him get a pick. Good to see Zinx get a pick. Looks like they're finally kind of swing back here. Alchemist looking so much better. Where was this before?
Recap here, I think probably going to sit in the corner, maybe use his time to take attack time out, but at the end of the day, they know where he is. You might be able to find 1 or 2, but finally, Alchemist got on the board after a miserable half on the attack.
And it's good to see Toxic get a kill. Going 0-6, I mean, that weighs down on you as a player. I mean, but finally getting that first kill, the first kill is always the hardest one to get. Yeah,
and I mean, it's glad they're releasing some, second wind and resurgence from Alchemist here, but at the end of the day, this one is probably over, and I think even the team of Alchemist is kind of looking towards that map too.
Yeah, what they're looking forward here is to just win a few rounds, get the guns back to being a little more locked in. Clearly, Tactics is absolutely feeling himself right now. He needs the rest of his team to start getting into the zone that he is in. If DKEG starts popping off, if Zinc starts popping off, if Toxic starts popping off with tactics, that's the Alchemist lineup that let them.
Certainly, and I mean, I think that, yeah, I just think expectations were so much higher. It's not like we see, you know, it's not like an NLG X-Force where no one expects anything right now. Alchemist was expected to probably almost dominate this first, you know, this first series here and possibly even do well in quarterfinals against what would be 907, if I'm not mistaken.
So.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I guarantee you, if you beat this one, you still have a treacherous path. I mean, you have arguably two of the strongest teams we've ever seen on paper with 5.2 and then the new guy, 907.
Absolutely. I mean, 907, they're no slouches. All these players have been around. Bueda, Popify. These players are good. They know how to play the game, and they can shoot back like absolute demons. So this game for Alchemist should have been their easy layup game. But Monarchs is showing that it will not be that easy. They're showing they have fight, and you cannot take them lightly.
Certainly. That maybe Tactics here is hoping to approach what would be his career high in SSL. Only needs 4 more to do it, so not super far away.
I mean, and with only through 7 rounds, having 10 kills, that takes a lot. I mean, with him, I want to see him even spearhead even more going into Border. I don't think they're going to win this map. I find it highly unlikely, but I want to see them bring Border to Monarchs. I mean, I want them to win that first round, that first opening pick come the next map, but we're still on this map. We've seen crazier comebacks before. 06 is very hard. DKEG injured. Pseudo gets the opening kill. That is exactly what Monarchs wants. They find their opening kill. Pseudo gets another beautiful angle on the bottom of Vexo stairs. That's Tactics, the best Monarchs, or the best Alchemist player they have right now.
At this point, it's never over till it's over, but we're going to need to see a much better step up from at least 2 of these players. We're starting to see Hater obviously clear most of the space here, and you might have a chance to grab 1 or 2, but you're going to have to be almost perfect come for this plant time.
Absolutely, and they have no nitro denial. Zinx able to get the pick. That's perfect. Rivera dies from above. They have vertical control. 2 versus 4. We need to see Zinx and Toxic get picks back, and we need to see them get back now. With a minute left, Monarchs has all the time in the world to work with.
Yeah, and it looks like stopping this plan is going to be near impossible in this situation. Zinx at least finds 1, but stopping this plan is going to be almost impossible. We see verticality being held, and a 1v2 makes it at least winnable, but you're going to have to see a beautiful performance here from Zinx.
Absolutely. I mean, with 1 in vending and 1 in sight in bottom tank, they should be able to pinch him in EXO. It just depends on how they shot call it. He's definitely hearing him coming up. He drops. Zinx going upstairs. He's reclaiming the vertical control. Does he have the intel required to get rid of the planter? I don't think he's going to. He drops down EXO. He's trying to isolate himself, and now it's a 2 versus 1.
See Zinx taking the angle. Beautiful shot.
Watching him run the cargo. This is entirely winnable for Zinx.
You gotta play perfect here, though. You know where he is, but the room for error is 0 here. You lose, you go home, and Zinx with a quad, though. The hope for Alchemists and at least a little bit of life. Maybe a team that's finally reanimated from the dead with at least a showable performance.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what you want to see from Alchemist. You want to see another player come to life. And it looks like Zinx and Tactics are the 2 players so far to come back to life. I want to see another player for them come back to life, and then you're going into map 2, if you lose this map, feeling a lot better. If they start activating, and I mean, if all 5 players start activating, Monarchs might run into an Alchemist situation of not being able to win an attack.
That could certainly be an issue, and I think that at the end of the day, what I'm seeing is all roads lead to DKEG. He needs to show up here, and he needs to prove why he's the Hall of Fame player. He needs to prove why he's supposed to be the leader of this team, and he needs to really take that frontal charge.
Absolutely. I mean, with him being your primary entry, you're expecting him to get entry picks. You're expecting him to be the top of the leaderboard. But right now, we aren't seeing it. I'm expecting him in time to definitely become that. But only time's really going to tell. If he can't get into his groove, the Alchemist team is out without their spearhead.
I mean, yeah, you have to be. Unless we see a major comeback, it has to be DCAG. We can expect to, maybe have some better performances from Avara Toxic, but at the end of the day, you have to have your entry, show out and prove that he is the best player here.
Absolutely. When you think about who Alchemist is as an identity with their team, you think about DCAG. You think about Tactics being that young blood that's. You think about Zinx, who is known for playing that more supportive role very well. But when you don't have your spearhead shooting on all fronts, you struggle as a team.
Well, apparently, Monarch said, you guys won't bring the shields. Don't worry, we got you. We'll make up for it. We see a double shield play with both the Blitz and the Blackbeard.
Yeah, they are absolutely looking for complete aggression right now. 2 slow rounds for Monarchs. They decide they want to change up the pace, try and do something fast, catch Alchemists off guard. That's exactly what you should do whenever you lose 2 rounds like this back-to-back. We see Diabolicals jump straight in the cargo. They are taking ground, they're taking it quickly. I want to know if they know what the DCAG is downstairs, bottom cargo stairs. He has the win factor.
Zinx at least grabs a pick there, but everything's on site. You need to be perfect. Toxic in the middle of it all here. Any damage would be a good one. Zinx with a double on the round. The beating heart for this team. DZ at least finds 2 to make sure it stays neck and neck.
Absolutely, and they still have vertical control. This site is very bird dominant. If you don't go quick enough and with enough surprise, trying to rebound now is only going to slow down your take. Though a 3-on-3, that's definitely not the end of the world for Monarchs. I still give the advantage to defense always whenever it's a level playing field. But it looks like they're rotating Waterfall. It looks like they're going to do something fast on Waterfall to try and take out Zinc up here.
That might be the play, but you got to be perfect in your timing. If you lose another round here, if you lose another player here from Zinx, you have to make it up. You cannot let this slip away. You might win the game, but if we start seeing a reanimated team, that's scarier than ever. And a quad for Zinx, maybe looking for the ace here. Listen, apparently, yeah, apparently your entire team might not be there, but your Captain America, your savior, the man to hold it all down is here. Suitor left in a 1v3. Still certainly winnable, but...
Suitor looked like... Oh, someone might have left.
Big question is who? Oh, yeah. We can...
Is someone dead? That's the benefit silver lining, right?
Yeah, at least it's not one of your alive bodies. Yeah,
Absolutely.
he full restarted. I'm assuming there was a tech issue.
I love how Alchemists are playing. They're playing passive. They're waiting for Pseudo to make a move.
You track the Melusi, it might not matter in a 2v1, so at least there's some odds. All you gotta do is not throw here. Time low as ever, and if you keep your bodies, this should be over. Maybe you're looking for the one. Maybe Melusi's looking to find it. An ace. And apparently, the support players got it for this one as beautiful performance back-to-back. 9 kills, 2 rounds, and apparently the only reason this team is currently working itself together.
Absolutely. I mean, they finally have 2 people who are absolutely shooting straight. Zinx has single-handedly won them 2 rounds so far. 1 with the clutch and 1 with now an ace. I mean, he is now awoken and he is now shooting back. That's exactly what I wanted to see from Alchemist. The key is, can they get 3 more rounds? I find it unlikely now that Monarchs has seen their play. They know they should have won that basement round. I want to see, does Monarchs make an adjustment?
I think the big question is what we're going to see on the bans. Shields wouldn't surprise, but it's going to certainly be up to the players. And you see a Maverick instead. Safety in the walls, not a big surprise. I'm a little bit surprised with the Goyo, though, honestly.
Yeah, they're definitely... I'm surprised with the Goyo as well. I haven't seen the Goyo exactly been the game breaker. I get he can be annoying in the late round, but time... Fucking Discord. Mars is so good with their time management so far. I haven't been seeing where the Goyo's been impactful at all.
Yeah, and maybe a bit of a blunder of a ban here.
Possibly, but when you're up 6-3, you can take these risks, I
Attackers
suppose.
need to locate and defuse bombs.
Maybe, but I think that you're giving more time for Alchemist to be ready for that map too, and you're seeing a player who is normally the support one showing out as if his rent is due. Everything is here, and at least some life into the team, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, and DKAG is they're brothers, they're twins, they play with each other, they are able to boost each other. When one starts doing good, I've seen it time and time again, the other one starts to activate. So I wouldn't be surprised if DKAG just starts going nuclear after seeing his brother do that.
I think that would actually be one of the more unique duos we'll see, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, dude, they're a treat. They're even better a treat to play with, I'll tell you that. They're a funny bunch.
Well, let's hope they can at least bring it back together, as we have 2 stars starting to come back to life here, but we need to see the biggest one of them all really show out in what could be maybe a comeback. I think if we see this round here go the way of Alchemists, this is no longer a safe game.
Absolutely not. And DKAG gets the opening kill. That's exactly what you want to see from him. With that Nitro Spawn Peak that kills DZ. DZ's their top performer right now for Monarchs.
Certainly glad to get the best one in the server out here.
Exactly what you'd want for Alchemist.
Avara with good tricks, and he's going to make sure that wall stays closed. There's a reason they got rid of the Maverick. They know that the wall security is so important to a team, because they can constantly hold the rafters here. They can really force aggression. Tactics finds a big one here.
I mean, these are massive kills coming out here. They're creating space. They're shooting back. They're getting aggressive when they need to. This is the Alchemist I'm used to watching here. But I'm just wondering if it's too late. They've given up 6 rounds warming up.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope for a warm-up a little earlier, but better late than never.
Absolutely. I mean, at least we might have something when we go into border, because I'm liking what I'm seeing from Alchemist right now. They look better. Look at that Nitro play. It gets 2!
Beautiful one from Toxic, and they might have struggled to get there. They might have been down and buried in that first couple bit, but they're alive. They're still here, and I don't think we have an ended game quite yet here.
Absolutely. You got to see a timeout from Monarchs coming here. I mean, losing 4 straight rounds, especially with ones you definitely should have won. We're going to see what they might try to change through this tactical timeout that I believe they just called.
That would certainly be the expected thing, but as we see, you know, a pretty essential timeout is, even if you win this here, you've reignited the heart of Alchemist. You could have ended it before, could have arguably had an ended series right then and there if you won this 7-1, but instead you see an Alchemist team that's getting ready to go back together. We're seeing the support players, we're seeing the rookies, we're seeing everyone really start to click here, and it's a dangerous, dangerous deal.
Absolutely. I mean, this is how you expect Alchemist to play. Granted, I want to see more from DKAG. 3-8, he's your spearhead. You expect him to be near the top of that leaderboard. But whenever you have people like Zinx and Tassies able to step up when their spearhead isn't shooting straight, that is something that three rounds. They've hit 4. You're feeling a lot better. You're starting to get momentum. The momentum is completely on Alchemist's side right now. Whenever we won those first 2 rounds for Monarchs, you were feeling good. Monarchs was feeling limber, loose. They were the first ones to get loose out the gate. Alchemist finally eased in. They're now got momentum. The key is not to play too fast. You can't get too aggressive, because you have to remember, this basement round should have been won by Monarchs. They had a 2 versus 1 post-plant here.
Certainly, and I mean, I think it's just a question of how much more can we see from Alchemist, because they look like they finally have some hope in them. It's just, at this point, it's just icing on the cake. If you can at least get maybe a couple rounds here, or God forbid in overtime, if you pull out a win on this map, this game isn't even over, but you're certainly approaching easily one of the greatest comebacks we've ever seen in SSL.
You barely see 1-5 comebacks, 1-6 comebacks, an 0-6 comeback for an absolute reverse sweep through overtime would be something I don't think we've ever seen before.
And in playoffs, nonetheless, it'd be probably the greatest thing ever. I'd argue, at least for SSL comp, it'd be certainly up there as one of the greatest games. Uh-oh. Can you hear me good?
Yep, I hear you fine right now.
Oh, thank God. Okay, I thought my shit was about to crash. I'd have been like, this has been like the worst time to crash.
Most certainly, but you're good for me right now. Again,
Hey,
there's going to be a
go
kick
ahead.
over. That's what I want to see here. But I like how DCAG finally swapping off that more aggressive role going into the clash. He sees he's not fresh map. Border can completely change everything. But right now, DCAG is able to realize, as a player, hey, I'm not doing too great. Let me get onto a more... see if I can help my team more.
I think there's no big surprise.
I love this strat.
I mean, I think that...
This is the strat that I was able to coin from them. I was able to show them that you could play Clash up here and have a Nitro beneath. And with Clash, with that beautiful intel that she's able to provide, you were able to rain a Nitro hell among attacks. Especially whenever they try to isolate a card or an exo take.
I think that finally, maybe a little bit later than they'd hope, but the plans, the strategies, what we know Alchemists for, is starting to finally show. We see a team that truly looks like the one we expected.
Absolutely. And I like how they have 4 Nitros. They are definitely going to try and get aggressive with it. They're definitely going to find some picks here. And the Nitros.
Thatcher running down here, trying to find one. DZ knows there's a minimum some pressure there. Sledge is going out. They know that the Clash is there, vulnerable maybe, and you get some damage, but you won't find it. I think it's a much bigger deal than we're going to give it credit for. Is we get to see, you know, that player stay alive, and Zinks in a corner here might cause even more chaos.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a rat corner that they haven't spotted yet. The question is, do they kill him? They got a drone on him. They're going to have to force Zinks to rotate back.
Getting the rotate is big, but at the end of the day, you have the anti-shield of all anti-shields still alive and ready to fight you, and I think your big win here, Blackbeard, is currently being kind of, maybe not taken down, but certainly countered. As the nade was so close, they could have found it out, but just a millisecond off. Big one for recap there. Finally an opening pick, and the plan looks to almost be imminent here, maybe from Hater, but everything's just waiting to get into place. Bodies fight Glore. Avara knew he was there, expected it, and beautiful shot. Kill from Sincere on the vert. DCAG certainly low and getting all the damage and pressure towards him. The Madman unhooks his shield, so he's a little bit more quiet. You got to try to go for something big here. You cannot afford to lose. Finally, looks like Monarch might be able to close it out after a long time coming. Now without a fight, though, DCAG at least finds one. You're going to have to fight the verticality, fight everything against you here. In a 1v3, Toxic's going to need perfection if he wants it. But at the end of the day, it might not be enough, and you might have gotten the win. You might have finally pulled it out, but you gave hope to a team that was hopeless.
Absolutely. I mean, that Monarch's finally able to close it out. I mean, that's exactly what they probably should have done on their last basement attack, but they gave us a few extra rounds to cushion and allow Alchemists to kind of lock in a little more. I want to see Border be a new map and a new playing field for Alchemists.
I'd agree, and this will be a little bit of a 2-minute break.
This is Sprays, and this is the Counting Cards Podcast Week 1. Today we have with us Brian from Wild Boys.
Hello.
Leader. Let's start simple, though. Who are you?
My name's Brian. I am the CEO / chairman of the Wild Boys organization / LLC.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's look to the past.
Okay.
So, how did you start the org? How did it come to be?
How did I start the org? Well, funny enough, one day I was sitting there with a group of friends at this place called Twin Peaks, and one of my friends mentioned Jinxie, and I was like, Jinxie, who the fuck is that? So they pulled up his Twitch, and we were watching him, and he said something about like a $50,000 like game. I was like, what? There's no way. So me going into Discord and going around, I went through the main R6 server on Discord, and then I got recruited by forgot what org it was, but some small org where me, Knight, and Toxic, were when we get farther into the podcast, they'll become relevant. Recruited me to go play with them. Well, we joined this org together, and we were sitting there, and I was like, oh, okay. Learning on how leagues work, on who runs things. I was like, I want to do this. So one day I was like, yo, Knight, Toxic, if I make an organization, will you guys join? And they were like, hell yeah. And now that's the beginning of Wild Boys right there.
How many teams do you have in the beginning?
Okay. So in the very beginning of Wild Boys, I didn't understand on how necessarily comp worked. I thought as if I get 5 players, I have a team. I didn't understand that you had to have the best of the best, or they all had to be champ. So
And we're back after a very dominant start for what was supposed to be almost a 7-1 there, or maybe even a 7-0 from Monarchs, but gave a little bit of hope to a team that looked hopeless and maybe not as safe as you'd hope.
Absolutely. I mean, we would expect if you jump up 6-0 that you'd close that map out. They gave Alchemists a... Let's see how Border starts. Hopefully it's a little bit closer for both sides of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as Monarchs, you kind of have to be worried now, obviously. You looked so amazing in that start. You looked so dominant, but you gave hope, and I think that that's the big issue is you gave a lot of hope to a team that looked down and beaten. In the world.
Absolutely, and I'm looking for Alchemists to start on the right foot here. If they want to keep this game close and this series tied up, they have to lock in here.
Certainly, I mean, you just want to see something from Alchemist here. You want to see the same players that went off. You want to see tactics. You want to see, just the team that we saw at that last couple of rounds.
Yeah, you want to see Zinx, you want to see tactics, you want to see all these guys kind of ease back into the way of things. We want to see them kind of get back with that shot. We see tactics auto-locking that ass. You can tell he's probably feeling it. Zinx on a shield, that's what I want to see. Looks like they're going to take ground quickly. I even wagered they try and do a quick CC take.
Would not surprise me. I think it's just a really big showing that finally, after a bit of a disastrous map one in my opinion, but we're seeing the same team we expect. We're seeing the shield. We're seeing, it looks to at least be some strategy in it.
Absolutely, and it looks like there's actually some thought here. With that OSA, I'm wondering if they're going to try to do something with Archives, or if that OSA is going to be more used over by East, so like Cold 90 Hall.
Certainly. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see possibly a plant strategy. It's not super common nowadays, but with the Thermite in hand, it might be used towards main.
Absolutely. I mean, while doing an OSA plant isn't completely unheard of, it doesn't have exactly the greatest win rate. So I would be surprised if Alchemists try to do that as their first attack.
I mean, yeah, I'd agree. I wouldn't expect to see it, but you never know, truly.
You never do know, but that's what we're here to find out.
Absolutely. Well, we have most of our shields moving towards that custom side. It's really just, where's the big plan here?
Looks like they will be extending heavy into CC. That's exactly what you want for a defense. You don't want to give up any ground for free. With Recap playing inside CC with the Doc, you're looking to get an early pick either on the break door or onto his CC outside armory back door. One of those two picks are going to be absolutely massive. With DZ playing top east, I either want to see this blitz isolate one of these two. Either the Recap on Doc, or you want to see him isolate DZ on the blitz. But it looks like they're going to be doing mostly something on main wall here. With placing the over shield, they're going to be trying to play pseudo with a Legion. That's going to be a hard take. Recap's playing here and break, but he rotates over. He's playing more for break door than CC.
Here we're at least having what looks to be a semblance of a plan maybe, as we're starting to see Zinx in position and tactics maybe pushing in. All of it I think is just going to come in at once, and it's really just can Recap handle all the heat. You certainly have the veteran experience here for it, but Gotta be so careful. DZ for the run out, misses and doesn't get the full kill, but takes away a little bit of pressure, buys you some time. You're seeing Zinc. Yeah, Zink's pushed right back by the blitz. Or Zink's pushing back with the blitz.
They got good ground now. The question is, do they know DZ's playing top east? If they do not, this could be a very scary flank coming in. He's pushing over bridge. The question is, does this Alchemist lineup have the intel that he's pushing? Pulling the angle. He knows.
Shots coming out, and yeah, the semblance of a plan is there. You know where he is, and now you just got to try to isolate it. But Haters playing aggressive here, finds the first one in the round, immediately traded up by Toxic, making sure these numbers stay close. He's still got to deal with DZ on the roam here. Has a long angle away, and the plan might be to entirely ignore it and go for a plant. A recap with a double on the round. DCAG at least finds one, but a plant was not really possible at this point, and you're being shot from behind. You just need to find some semblance of a plan here. Toxic with a big one there. The support player putting in a little bit more work than I think we were expecting.
Absolutely. And with a 2-on-2 advantage here, you want to know how many drones. You only have 3 drones up. That's not good intel to work with. Toxic gets injured. They're able to capitalize. It's a 1 versus 2 for DCAG. If any time is it for DCAG to activate, and it is now, but with a 1-on-2, he doesn't have enough time. He's looking, searching for a kill. So the one is, it doesn't hit the shots. DZ finishes out that round, give the Monarchs their first win. Something they're very used to starting out with.
I mean, yeah, absolutely, especially after such a dominant beginning. But I think that at least we're seeing some, you know, at least aggression in close calls here with the map. It feels like we're not seeing a true dominance from at least Monarch so far.
Absolutely. If this was last game, it would be grossly disgusting, but that round looked very competitive. It looked like both teams were going back and forth with their picks. I just want to see Alchemists have a little more intel. They lost a gunfight for their open, but they at least had some intel that there was a guy coming from east to bridge. That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Do you think if in this map, if anyone at all, do you think we're going to see a major player step up here?
You kind of have to. I mean, if one side has to have a big player come. Right now, it looks like Diabolical and Recap are kind of playing some of these more aggressive roles. But I'm going to be surprised if we see DCAG finally wake up, or if it's going to be kind of a toxic show.
I think that, yeah, especially the team is a bit of an oddball, where we're seeing even support players can really show some aggression. Obviously saw Zinx, who's considered more that soft support, drop 9 kills within only 2 rounds, and I think that at minimum we can see a lot of uniqueness played. If we start seeing DCAG maybe not put up the numbers he needs, we can see Zinx and Toxic here come up to this more entry and aggressive position to make up for it.
Absolutely. I mean, with Wizard and Tactics, I mean, with him on Ash, you're expecting him to be very aggro. With DCAG on the Ram, you're expecting him to be playing more of a second entry. I'm wanting to see Tactics sprint in and DCAG right behind him.
It would not surprise me to see a 1-2 like that, but I think the team might actually go for a bit more of a Tactics goes first, and we see DCAG be on the drone.
Yeah, well, you could do that. I feel like you have to dig into what has made Alchemist successful. DCAG has been that player that's made Alchemist the team they are. If DCAG is able to perform how he normally does, Monarchs is in trouble. But right now, they've done a very good job of keeping DCAG silent. They've kept them to 3-9 last map. That's what they need to continue to do to keep the beast tamed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing is if you let him go, you know, unleash and truly go for what he's usually doing, this team is already on the grasp of being right there, you know, getting close to winning a map here and getting some big rounds. But Tactics might have a good angle here onto the dock. DCAG finds it. Finally getting some entries here. Pretty big pick.
Absolutely. Some life coming from the spearhead. That's exactly what I want to see for Alchemist here. I want to see, is Monarchs going to rebound here?
DZ, however, hiding in a corner here. They might not expect it, and I don't think they droned it well either, and might give a chance for a player to go down. DZ gets flashed. He's still going for the aggressive angle. Finds one to at least tie it right back up. A lot of pressure for DZ in this upstairs play. DCAG finally coming back into his own here. It took a while, but we're seeing some life. Hater finds one on the C4 there.
DCAG looking to get more aggressive. They still have a guy in fountain. He's completely isolated. DCAG,
we're finally seeing the monster awake. 2 big kills, and got to be careful. You got to find a way to get him right back up. And finally, it feels like we have the 2 main players awake. Your guys are here. You're starting to see DCAG tactic come to their own, and
this is exactly what I see. It's like a complete opposite. Toxic, DCAG, the 2 players that seem to have really struggled last, they've locked in. They're 4-1 and 3-1. I mean, that's exactly the punch. And then Tactic able to pick up his first. This is more of an Alchemist lineup you're used to seeing, with Zinx and Averix taking more of a back step, supporting their team, and DCAG and Toxic and Wizard being more aggressive.
Yeah, we're starting to finally see that standard that we expect, that true level of like just unheard of aggression, really. They're one of the best at it, and we're finally starting to see that from them, at least, you know, a semblance of we're so fast, we're just going to almost play a blitzkrieg style of warfare, where you can't even keep up, and we're just going to absolutely dominate you.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what Alchemist is known for. They're known for playing a little more quick, a little more down your throat. That's what made Monarchs very successful in that. If Alchemist can flip the script and deliver what they're known for doing, we will see a map 3, no doubt.
Certainly wouldn't surprise me. I think that it's really, I think, a testament to how important DCAG is to this team. Is, yes, even when he's doing bad, you can have players fill in, but when he's doing good, this team feels like it's a truly complete and high-level team.
Absolutely. I mean, when you have a player who can walk in, single-handedly create space, that's a unique kind of player. When he can't do that, your team struggles, and you run into that time issue that they were running into, where they only had 30 or 20 seconds to make an execute with limited space.
Seeing a relatively similar lineup despite the different site here. See Toxic on the gridlock, but the big duo still with Ash and Ram here, keeping the R4Cs in the hands of the entries, and I think it's a question of where they're going to push.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you're going to wonder here. I look like they're going to be definitely trying to isolate some verticality here. The question is how much is Monarchs going to fight for this vertical?
I think a team like Alchemists, you need to, at minimum, fight them tooth and nail. You cannot give them in any way to have more safety in a post plant, because they're already going to show aggressive wherever they put those 2 entries. And you cannot give your, the support players, the players that maybe can't aim as good, a chance to absolutely just have a big one-up on you.
Absolutely. That's the idea. And it looks like they are getting pretty good control. Already having east control, they found their idea is going to be try to isolate him and try to get an opening kill. DCAG swinging. He knows he's here. DCAG gets the opening kill. That's exactly what you want to see for Alchemists. They look like they're alive. It looks like the old Alchemists were used to it. DCAG is still swinging. He's still looking for more kills here.
They do at least know where those 2 men are. You do have that Wamai, you do have the Warden, and you do see one go down. Zinx gets at least one of them, but you still got a clear recap here. He's not someone you can just leave alone.
Absolutely not. And you're trying to get total vertical control, and with a minute and a half, there's a lot of time, but we see the pulse is rotating up. He needs to get aggressive. They need to try to equal out this man count here. That's why you're seeing these players get so aggressive. They know they can't win a 5v3 to come push to shove. They need to create space and create time for themselves.
We do see Sincere walked his way up here, trying to provide a little bit of support maybe for the player, but you got to be careful. You see Hater find a pretty big one here, I think, trying to get that numbers advantage.
He is buying time for his team right now. That is on a barracks. That's their diffuser. Can he maintain enough ground? He's able to get DCAG. He is single-handedly stopping this Alchemist push here.
They might know where he is, but players are closing in here, and we're going to need to see a bit of a play from Zinx. He needs to come save Toxic, give him at least a little bit of pressure, alleviated, and you find damage. You do find Zinx does at least find Hater. Numbers tie right back up, but time's running low, and both players are pretty low on health.
This is the problem Alchemists ran into last map. They ran out of time. They need to get more aggressive. Losing your man advantage from a 5 versus 3, that's not what you want. You need to isolate, you need to pinch, you need to find space. Toxic fight against Recap to be able to get the pick. It's
Big play.
One. Sincere has a shotgun. He's looking for more.
Double big one there in a 2v1 to keep that round, at least keep your advantage here. But I think we're just seeing the life that we need to. We're seeing a team that I think truly has a big chance at winning this finally.
Absolutely, but all these rounds have been tooth and nail. They're all fighting. I mean, they are looking to close this series out right now. Alchemist looking to keep it alive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if we see Alchemists here able to get that final map 3, that's going to be a really disadvantaged scenario for Monarchs, as we've seen them on Clubhouse, and they're a good team, but they're not what Alchemist is. One of the most dominant teams on Clubhouse statistically, able to beat people like Obey, CC, kept it close against 907. These are amazing. They're an amazing team if you give them the chance to go to Clubhouse, and Monarchs would gladly prefer to end it here, go dominant, and just carry on to that to the next round of playoffs.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're Monarchs, you're looking to keep up the aggression, keep up the pace you've been getting. That last round showed great resilience. It showed good time management. With 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the 3 versus 5, they showed they got aggressive at the right time. Stopped that Alchemist push and to say, pause. We need to get more picks. We need to isolate and rebound, and that's what they did.
Certainly. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you just have to be very careful when it comes to a game like this, where even one pick or, one missed opportunity, one missed flash can matter all so much more.
Absolutely. A single mistake with teams as good as this can be make or break sometimes.
And when you're playing for $1,000, it certainly feels the pressure.
Absolutely.
Overall, relatively similar hold from the side of Monarchs. Nothing super different from their last one on the top floor, but it's going to be interesting how we see it different with DCAG on Namaru.
Absolutely. I want to see what their plan is to do here. Is he going to fly in through Sandwich window, or is he going to be more of a use it for the GA and see if I can, oh, he had no supernova on. He might go up a hatch. He might try and find some space and go up the hatch and try to catch these Monarch players off guard, and that's exactly what I think he is going to try to do.
As long as we can see a drone or some flashes or some pressure and people know where Pseudo is, it's certainly a possibility. But they might not know, and
the tape is prepping Archives. They are going to move quick, and they're going to move decisively. DCAG, in fact, is probably going to be this backstabbing player that he's known for being. Go up an Armory hatch, an Archives hatch, and shoot them in the back while they're trying to deny the plant.
preparing for that final, sort of push. Everyone's just getting in position here and starting to see it tactics, looking to maybe find the first here in a pretty aggressive angle to be held. Pseudo in the middle of it all here. Everyone's just waiting for him. If you can find the first, it's big. DCAG does find it, and so far, one side isn't entirely down yet. It's going to be down to Hater here to stop the plant. But he might not know there's players all around him.
He has the control.
The Grims, the utility, all of it's dumping towards here, looking to hold the site down. DCAG maybe going to be the player here that's possibly going to be able to just hold them all down. Damage, but it's not enough. Hater able to find one.
This is a post plan. This is exactly what Alchemist needs. If DCAG can hold, which I think he's going to, he has the close range shotgun. He should be fine.
One big down. Anything more is certainly helpful. DCAG with 3, maybe gonna find 4 if he's lucky. 2v1 with time winding down. Sincere gonna needs nuclear power here if he wants to win this one. He might be able to do it, but time's just gonna force him to make his move, and Zinx finishes with a much better round from Alchemists.
Absolutely, they had a plan there. They had an idea of what they wanted to do. That is exactly the Alchemist. I mean, you had DCAG backstab with the Amaru up Armory Hatch. It was a beautiful take. They didn't absolutely dump Archives. They had tactics push Armory. DCAG push Armory Hatch. They had a lot of depth to their attack.
Certainly, I think that's a big step up.
Absolutely. That's much more Alchemist, and it's keeping the game close, and I do love me a good close.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I think this is certainly just looking like the much more traditional Alchemist we're used to, where tactics can certainly show some aggression, but DCAG is really the main man of it all.
Absolutely. He's running at an 8-3 scoreline. He's being the spearhead of Alchemist that he's known for being, and that is exactly what Alchemist needed in their time. He wasn't able to perform on night even, but he's performing now, and that's all that matters.
I mean, better late than never, and to be fair, your back is against the wall. You cannot afford to lose here.
Absolutely. And because they are going to do their armory take again with the OSA and with the Blitz taking CC, they don't really have a CC rotate. CC seems to be as free as can be. They seem to be playing a lot. They're playing a lot more back. I'm curious to see if Alchemist is able to read this and then take that ground very quickly. Because if you're giving up break and CC, taking armory is the next step, or going through archives and then going through office and fountain. That's the next step. With a Blitz, that would be very easy with break room and CC control.
Certainly, and I mean, I think that it's going to come down here to how fast we see it execute. If we can allow, if an Alchemist is allowed to go for a super fast-paced execute, it's going to benefit them so much here.
Absolutely. And it looks like it is going to be more of a main wall oriented. They have the OSA on main wall. They have the Therm on main wall. It looks like they are going to focus armor, but they have 3 players here. One lost, Bandit on wall, and then recap. They are ready.
With nades using it, they are able to get the wall, and bodies are starting to fall back here. You still got to worry about DZ, obviously. Players are not giving it up entirely. You still have recap sitting behind the half wall, and you might have gotten the wall, but your job has only just begun.
Absolutely, and the real idea is, what is their play going to be here? With Zinc, they can isolate one player, and with DCAG on sound, he's able to get some intel. The question is, can they isolate and pinch these players?
I think we need to see a player sort of try to go around here and maybe be a little bit less linear. Seeing recap grab the first, bodies right in, but so far it hasn't gone the way that they need. Avara grabs one, but it's not going to be enough. You need to see tactics, and DCAG clutched up with a 1v4, and what looked to be a great progression just shut down by monarchs there.
Absolutely. I mean, they did not have an idea of how to get these players out of their crosses. One person playing on the B, one player. That is a scary cross to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you just got to be very careful on a map like this, where the play was obviously a big one. I think it was supposed to be a bit of a statement where we can run all over you, we got this, but you know, obviously did not go the way expected for Alchemists.
Absolutely. I mean, Alchemists, they had a plan there. I'm still happy with that. They don't look lost. That's the key. They seem to be playing and committing to their plans, and that's good. In the famous words of Pengu, it's better to commit to a bad plan than to not to a good plan. Commitment is the #1 key.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Overall, a relatively traditional hold upstairs. You're obviously going to see a lot of hold and pressure up here. We're going to see a clash, your Cade. You're going to see most of your utility spent right up here, trying to make sure you don't lose the verticality. Keep that in your hands, and while it is a great strat, it could certainly open the door to maybe a more direct take down in that A site.
Absolutely.
5 seconds to go. Attacker's objective is to defuse a
I'm
bomb.
wanting to see if they can get DCAG into that spot again where he can isolate picks and then work ground. That's what won them their first 2 rounds. I want to see if they can do it again.
And absolutely here, and I think that, yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to see here. I'm a little bit surprised we see DZ out of all people on the shield. Generally, he's pretty aggressive with it, and I think the shield, it's a very make or break sort of idea with him, where he's had moderate success overall, very in the middle of the road, but it might be worse trying to put him off something like this instead of giving him maybe a roam like a vigil.
Absolutely. I mean, with all the people on Monarchs, it looks like they're all gunning pretty well, so putting DZ on it isn't the absolute end-all be-all, but I wouldn't be surprised if you put him on something like the Pulse, or you could have put him on the Mute or the Legion and have someone like Pseudo play the Clash.
Certainly. I think there looks to be some semblance of a plan here. So we're seeing Toxic of our group right back up here, and the wall is the big stoppage, but you got to find the Cade first, and they might not know, to be entirely sure.
Absolutely.
However, with this, maybe Hater can find maybe a kill here. I doubt it, but see if he can hold something from below, possibly.
Absolutely, but it looks like they are going to be trying to isolate out this Flash. Take upstairs control fully this time. They're taking a little bit longer than they did last. They had to have done it at minute 30 to a minute already. They need to step up their game. They need to find a pick here.
Absolutely. I think we're still seeing such a long and hard roam. With Sincere down below, he can still give out calls, sort of know what to expect, give his team a little bit of a, not a reminder, but just a little bit obviously more intel. And in a game like this where rushes can be so fast, something like an intel, just 5-10 seconds prepare, can be so instrumental.
Absolutely. I mean, 35 seconds. You need to get ground. This isn't the bomb site. You have to go down a level.
The plan might obviously be to ignore the verticality here as Tactics goes down first, and they might choose to ignore the entirety of the verticality and just go right to direct.
Yeah, that could be a plan, but they have to make something move here. Diabolical, he's still killing in sight. They don't have a way to get in. They have to win this gunfight.
They do win a pretty crucial one, but you need to get the body down here. You need to go for defuse. Time's going to run down, making this as close as it shouldn't be, and looking for something here. Beautiful shot. Sincere knows to at least hop on, worry about the planner at all costs, and finds him just barely with a pistol.
Absolutely. That could have been a big bloodbath, but they were able to get the planner off. That's a clean round for Monarchs. They had a very good hold there.
Certainly, and I think that, just quickly, in this ban phase, highlight easily one of the best players and biggest improvements is we're seeing Toxic here. +4 in the trade differential already and putting in great work here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an absolute night and day difference from last month. He was really he started to get picks near the end. I'm glad to see he started off strong this map.
They're really going to need to prove that they can hang, though, as their back's against the wall, and they need to just show some big win here, I think.
Absolutely. I'm looking for them to try and ban a shield here, maybe a Blackbeard, maybe a Blitz. I do know Sincere loves his shields, so you really got to be careful with him quick.
Certainly.
Grim ban. You don't see that too often, but it is a really strong ban on teams that structure. Teams that rely on structure need ops like Grim and Ying to get intel.
Absolutely, and I mean, I think it's a great ban here to sort of try to make sure that intel game is as hard as possible. Maybe allow Alchemists to go for these more long, hard roams to deal with and make it a little bit harder to clear.
Absolutely, and here's the Ying. That's exactly what I wanted to see from Monarchs, a shield and a Ying. They have a lot of good ops to get a lot of good ground with. And when you're not, did they bring a warden? No, they did not bring a warden. So Ying is going to be very powerful here. If she's able to isolate these players, get these Candles in, she can take a lot of space very quickly.
That certainly does seem to be the play. It's just a question of where is that plant going to come down from now?
That's the question. I'm going to see that they try to claim CC control very quickly with the Blackbeard. I think that's the point they're bringing him for. And I think depending on where they find the players of Alchemist, they're going to either isolate their take on armory with the Ying, or they're going to isolate offices and try to kill everyone there with the Ying. Ying is going to be the main power piece. If Alchemist is able to shut down this Ying early, that could be a complete round changer.
It certainly could be. I think you just every single game and every single thing is going to be down to those one key players, those one key pieces, and if those go down, that already destabilizes kind of everything you already had.
Absolutely.
So far, stats are neck and neck. We see Alchemists with better refrags, but they're worse on the entry. We also see Monarchs just slightly better in cost, 6% better at a 77%.
Yeah,
Overall,
you can definitely see it in the gameplay. Monarchs is looking like so far the better team. This is a game of halves. Right now, it's going to find out, does defense have the edge? Because that's where Alchemists did win 4 rounds last game. I mean, they showed promise on defense. Winning 2 rounds on attack, that's a lot better than what they did last.
yeah, and I think that in any of these maps here, Monarchs, if they did their research here, should know it's worse. You'd be better here to lose in regulation than to give a team like Alchemist overtime. Give them more time to get in their footing. Pseudo, though, finds a big one here, and Ying's starting to go out, cause some pressure. They're going everywhere, and Sincere's looking to kind of try to take over the area. Despite that, he happens to fall off after he used most of his Yings. Not entirely sure why. In a trade from Tactics and Diabolical Hater here, I think this trade is arguably going the way of Monarchs, is getting rid of your big player there.
Do they know DCAG is still in CC? He could be a game changer here. I do not know if Pseudo knows that DCAG's out here, but they seem to have a drone. They definitely have to know now.
And he was trying to go for that, obviously, the runaway, but he hit the fire extinguisher, concussed himself, and came down to something like that. Almost a free pick from DZ. Left into a 1v1. You have your Pseudo, you have Avara. 2 big players here. You know where he is, but you got to play perfect. You cannot afford to lose a round like this if you're Alchemist. You need to win this and show that you have that, that true side on that defense. That edge, and a beautiful shot. Takes down Pseudo, and Alchemist still showing that they got that, they got that dog in them.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's a big round. That gives you a little more, that gives you overall a very good round from Monarch. Got space, they had good intel. It just didn't go their way in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all of these rounds here, that's why the stats are relatively so similar, is because they're coming down to these 1-2 players and just slivers of health.
Yeah, absolutely.
Overall here, if you were to say one player that's truly risen to the occasion and outperformed what we expected, what would you say it is?
Attackers need to
Who
locate
would you say it is?
It's got to absolutely be Diabolical right now. I mean, he's playing a shield, he's gaining space right now, and he's getting picks. If I had to give a second place to someone, right now Toxic with his trades, I mean, that's absolutely huge. You can't play Siege well if only you can get his entry and no. So those would be my 2 highlight players from right now. While DCAG is 8-5, I haven't seen him gone a kill in probably 2 rounds, I think now. I need to see him reawaken, reignite the flame, and try to get back into this game.
Yeah, and I think that it's more important than ever to see him truly dominate here, as this is supposed to be their big side, and this can certainly be their big push to win map 2, go to that final one, and really give themselves, I think, a big advantage going into easily a top 2 map for them.
Absolutely, and I mean, when you go into your map 3, the team that wins map 2 is always going to have the momentum. Coming off a win always feels good.
Certainly, and I think that if you give a team like Alchemist that kind of momentum, it's so hard to stop it. They sometimes can feel like a battering ram with how aggressive they can get the more they feel into themselves.
Absolutely, and a lot of teams are like that, but it's all really about who's going to... Both teams are getting into their groove, they're knowing what's going to work against one another. The idea is who's going to come out on top with their engagement and what team can trade back better.
Certainly. I think that we are seeing a bit of an unlikely clash, though. Obviously, at the top of the leaderboards in importance. Sincere finds the first, but Hater and DCAG supposed to be the 2 superstars to really, well, one much more expected in DCAG, but Hater I don't really think expected to perform at the top of the leaderboard, in my opinion.
No, he's definitely something. He's someone I expect in the middle of the pack. You expect DZ, you expect Recap to kind of be up there. Pseudo, sometimes even. Hater, I mean, I know he plays frag, but I usually see him as more getting me my refrag than taking space.
Good trade at least, but bodies going out, and Alchemists are severely down here. Gonna need to see a big play from DCAG. This would be his time to really show out in the defense. They might not know as well, and he's gonna need to play perfect here. His plan's gonna go down. He needs to make a move. He cannot afford to just wait. Finished off, and Monarchs,
Very clean round.
yeah, just looming over. And as Alchemists, you need to stop them now. You cannot afford to let them get to a match point again.
Absolutely, and I mean, I love the Blackbeard take. I mean, he got ground, he got a pick, and then he got traded back once he got killed. That is perfect play. You got your space, you got your picks, and you got your ground. And once you're able to get Fountain control, getting rid of the rest of the guys in office is absolute textbook. And Monarchs did it flawlessly.
Certainly. Seeing an amazing performance from Hater. 9 and 6. 1 refrag, 3 traded kills, 100% cost on the round so far, or on the game so far, and a +3 in the trade differential.
Absolutely. He's been so impactful every round. He's putting in the work. With 100% cost, you know he's impactful. As that, you know he's putting in the work. That's exactly what you want to see from a player like him.
Yeah, and I think that it's certainly be unfortunate here if we see Alchemist go out, as we at minimum saw a big flash from the rookie here in tactics, and what at least looks like to be easily one of the biggest rising to the occasion. Sadly, wasn't enough for map 1, but
10 seconds remaining.
hoping to maybe see a little bit more.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. He knows how to play the game. He's definitely grown up with a very good group of guys. These guys should be able to raise him to be someone that can take them to that next level.
Yeah, I mean, this would certainly be the stage to do it, and with such an amazing map 1, I think he really needs to kind of show out here and try to keep the dream alive of playoffs for Alchemist.
Absolutely. And I mean, no team is out of this race just yet. We will see. They definitely need to start picking up a few more rounds, start getting a few more opening picks, because I feel like they're losing that early engagement all too often.
Yeah, and I think that it's the biggest surprise by far, is we're seeing so far Alchemist -4 on entry, which is generally one of their strongest suits.
Absolutely. When you have a player like DCAG and players like Toxic and Wizard, you expect them to be able to get an opening pick, and then you have players like Toxic who are able to get the trades once they get that pick. And that's always been a strong suit for Alchemist, is being able to get some picks and trading each other back.
Starting to get some drones, starting to get some intel, and work their way towards picks. Toxic forced to kind of flee there after a very, very well done clear.
Absolutely, but you burned a minute, just now giving them office control. That's not the end of the league. That is to be expected. A Captain Mine. That hits. That was from a Brava. That's beautiful use of the utility.
You gotta worry about Hater here, and you need to clear this verticality as fast as you can. You need to get really some big sight on to a post plant, but it cannot be done when you lose your shield like that. Give immediately the first pick to Zinx.
That's what Alchemists need. They need to get rid of the person who's creating space. Hater's been creating that space, taking him down. That's the #1 person you want to take down with it. Toxic gets recapped. They are closing the space. They have a 5 versus 3 man advantage. They play trade game. They should be in a perfect spot here with only a minute left.
Yeah, and you still have both your roamers alive. They can really hold it down. You see a trade go out immediately after, like a 1-2, and you might be able to get verticality, but it's a 4v2 in sight, and it's not going to be an easy one.
He has diffuser. He's just going to chill and wait the entirety of the...
Yeah, and I think that's a big issue, is we're seeing, you know, they're all grouping up saying, hey, we got this. We got verticality finally, but you don't have a diffuser yet. DCAG, the superstar, can really prove out here and just hold it as long as he needs.
Wow, they dropped without diffuser. I'm shocked, really. I mean,
a huge blunder.
25 seconds left.
Yeah.
That is. They are trying to get picks. They are planning that they do not think that DCAG has the bomb, when in fact he has it and he's waiting. Look, 15 seconds left. They are going to try to dig for the kill, or they're going to run up for bomb. Look at this. Running up for bomb. They have a ping on the DCAG. They know he's up here.
But it won't be enough. A kill to a barbed wire might be a first ever. In playoffs,
My God.
you ignore the defuse, and once again, you're going to see a team like Alchemist. They're able to, at minimum, realize you ignored it entirely. We're just going to sit. There's no need to play into it. They are an aggressive team, but they still have that smarts.
Yep, and that's another thing. I mean, that barbed wire damage every. That's something people don't notice too often. I mean, you're not normally down that low.
Certainly, and I think a ban like this is so important. You need to try to stop so much, and it's really just a matter of what. See the Malusi, not a big surprise. Whoa, okay. You still there?
Yep, a little static there, but you made it through.
Yeah, my mic stand just collapsed, so just give me a quick second.
All right, with the Blackbeard ban, that's exactly what you want. I mean, Hater was getting too much ground with it. They're going to switch off Blitz, sincere play the Blitz. That is exactly the type of adaptation I would expect from Monarchs. Exactly what you should do. The shields have been working. They've been getting space. I want to see a little bit more out from. I mean, with Pseudo on Ash, I'm expecting him to get more kills. Him at 5 and 6, it's the perfect off to get more kills with.
There we go. Sorry about that.
I'm confused of what Recap's trying to do with the Twitch. You could get the Goyos, and I think that's great and all, but I feel like there's better utility you could be using. Ops such as Ying, ops such as Monty even, trying to get even more space. I think you can play an op that's a little bit better than rather than just a gun.
Certainly, I think that if we do see Alchemists go down and lose this round, I would be astonished if we don't see a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, when you get down on the match point, you get worried. You gotta, have time to yourself, talk things through. But they might just be in the mood right now, or in the groove, where they're just thinking, that round doesn't matter, we got the next two.
I could certainly see it. A lot of confidence, I think, from this team, and at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how well can they handle this aggression from Tactics and DCAG. They need to show out here in these next two rounds.
Absolutely, and DCAG, I mean, 10 and 6, he's feeling himself right now. I want to see if he can get another open. And he gets
Big
a beautiful
pick.
shot on the Hater. That's thinking down. That is one of the big ops you want down. You either want the Thinker, you want the Ying down. Those are two big operators that have a lot of...
And
now stops him healing.
Yeah, and I think the bigger thing is now what normally is used, and with a team like Monarchs, I've seen them do it before, is if you flash at the right time, Finka can entirely remove that debuff so that everyone else is flashed, but your team is not. Now they can't do that. They can't go for such a strong play, and they're forced to sort of use the Ying traditionally.
Yeah, and I mean, with the man advantage, you're feeling a lot better, especially when DCAG is able to lock into gang. He's probably going to remain aggressive. He is. He's definitely going to remain aggressive. He's probably going to try and get another one. Tag Pseudo. That health can't be returned. Had the Think have been alive, Pseudo could have easily 60 more HP back.
See a bit of an aggression here from DZ, maybe hoping to see if he can find one. He's got to try to lurk his way up, and it's not going to be an easy one if he wants to do it. You see one, but at this point, I think they know they're not going to swing. They're going to give you as much space as you want, because there's no reason to. Damage on a DZ. Flashes are starting to come out here, and everything looks to be set in place. Huge pick from Free Toxic. Said the whole note. Another one for Toxic, and
Get 2 points. Just I'm sincere with the pistol.
They might have been slow to get there, but we see the team. We see Alchemist finally looks to be back together, ready, and for the first time in a while, we have a tie game.
Yep, something we haven't seen the entire series is a tied game, and you know what? I'm glad to see it. The last time we had something tied, I think, was 2-2 this map. This map has definitely delivered. It's been a lot closer than what Nighthaven. And most importantly, Alchemist looks like the team we normally see. Back, getting the pick, and they're trading.
I'd agree, and I think that we're seeing a much better performance. Obviously, 3-1 on the entry from DCAG. He's finally showing why he's that superstar. 160 EPS, arguably and from my stats, the MVP of the server.
Yeah,
at least
absolutely.
in map 2.
When you start having big games like this, that helps a lot. And I mean, we got to keep seeing it. 11-7 isn't going to cut it to win the map. He needs to even elevate even more. To win this map out against a good team like this, you need to be playing out of your shoes, and you need your teammates to be playing with you.
Certainly, and I mean, I think this is where we're really going to see how much do you have that team mentally. How good is your chemistry here when it's 5-5, everything's on the line if you're Monarchs or Alchemists. You might have a little bit of space if you're Monarchs, but do you want to take a team like Alchemists to their best map?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's something we're going to see here. I want to see, does DCAG remain?
Certainly going to have to be seen in these next 2 rounds, and you got to try to leave everything you have out here, because if you leave here and you don't put your 100% out, you're going to regret it.
Absolutely. You play with everything on the line, and then you also lose it everything on the line. You have to give it your all here.
Exactly, and I think that the big players we need to step up. We need to see DCAG keep holding his superstar and sort of playing as that entry alpha. We can also be a big help if we see Tactics finally come back to his map 1 form.
Absolutely. I mean, it's good to see that Zinc is still playing good. 9 seconds. That's exactly what Alchemists want. Retaining how he was playing his last map. With the Twins doing good, I'm excited to see how these next 2 rounds play out. They're guaranteed the full 12, and we might even be getting an overtime.
Big pick for Recap there through the wall, and sometimes you don't need to be the best aimer when you have that level of experience. 2 of them, Pseudo. Huge start so far, and you have 1 down, but you still have one of the brothers left. The man is going to have to hold it all here, as he is the entirety of the front. Oh, it's a 1v4, and Nasavara wants to be perfection here. This one might be over.
Absolutely, and yeah, the hater's going to get that pick. That was a beautiful take coming from. So again, their bathroom take is absolutely flawless. They gain all the ground they need. They wait for we wait for Alchemist to rebound to try and get a pick back, and then they capitalize. Perfect play by them. It takes a really special IGL to tell your team, we got our pick, let's slow down.
Yeah, now you're going to have to try to go as Alchemists. You're do or die here. You either win this and have a chance, just a chance to even keep going, but there's a lot you got to do, and there's a whole path.
Absolutely, and I mean, it all starts with this round. If you get the opening pick, and then if you play your trades right, Alchemists will be able to push it to overtime. But if Monarchs keeps playing how they are, if they have their upstairs players keep being down pat, the only reason they lost the site last time is because they forgot to fuse their upstairs.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really look like a great look if you are Alchemists, and there's still a lot you got to do, but I think that in a game like this, you just have to be, you cannot afford here to lose anything at all. You need to play like everything is online, because for once it truly is. There's no more you can maybe make it there.
There is no more gives here. The only way you make more gives is if you win this round. That's the only way you give yourself more breathing room.
Yeah, and I mean, it'd certainly be fitting if we do see DCAG go into his normal form, as he is, by stats-wise, one of the greatest players when it comes to what I like to, or what I have as a stat is do or die. So if it's overtime match point or match point, he is actively a top 3 player in the entirety of Console League.
That's definitely a statistic I've never heard of, but definitely should be a thing.
I'm an absolute stats nerd, so that's my thing.
I have never heard of that statistic, but I feel like that has to be a statistic. How are you the first one I've ever heard done that? Do or die. That's awesome, dude. Oh my god.
I'm a stat.
Play when it matters.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a stats nerd. That's my thing. That's my jam.
Oh my god. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We are. They're already got CC and offense control. The question is, can they pinch? With the captain line, he gets an automatic pipe. That is absolutely massive. You do not see that every 8. That is really.
And you're gonna see 2 here. DCAG finally showing up. Tactics finds another, and finally the team that we expected, Alchemists.
It's showing its merit. It's showing that that when it comes to the clutch, DCAG is a top 3 player. That is something that only a person who is so deep into the stats would be able to find. Unbelievable.
Everything on the line here for Hater and Pseudo. Two players that always been in the middle of the pack. They've never truly shown out, but if they want to, you know, bring themselves that next level, truly be among the best, they got to show it here. They got to show it now. End it in regulation. Get the 2-0.
Absolutely, 2 versus 5, minute 15 left. They have enough time to work kills here. The question is Alchemist going to give it to them? They have the cross ability. The question is, does Alchemist get too aggressive for their own good?
So far, looks to be a no. You might find one if you're Hater, but still a lot you got to do, and still have DKeg on the prowl. You still have Toxic, Zinx playing that upstairs. Starting to see some pressure, some gunfights, and easily the biggest one. If DK goes down, this one might be close, but Hater needs to have some essentially a masterclass here in how you clutch games. When everything is on the line, can you do it? Ace if he pulls it off, but you're down to one man. Everyone has one man that has to do everything here, and Tactics might be too aggressive for his own good, but not. This will be our first time seeing this core of Alchemists, and this will be the first time I finally get to see how Tactics plays in this infinite overtime.
And I mean, you gotta love to see good old overtime. Nothing comes better than playing good overtime. Let's get it. Let's absolutely get it.
Always arguably the most exciting part of the game if you get there, and I mean, yeah, that's all you can hope for.
Absolutely. I mean, we're treated to an absolute treat of a game right now. This map has been close. It's been back and forth. No team has jumped ahead very dominantly yet. The farthest either team has gone is 2 rounds.
Hey, well, maybe we break my record. I doubt it, but infinite overtime, I've had a beautiful, beautiful run of, if I'm not mistaken, it was 27 rounds as a main caster. That one went on for maybe a little bit longer than expected, but if we get to 26 rounds, that'd be beautiful.
Usually we'll save infinite overtime for finals. I've never heard of infinite overtime.
I generally have.
I don't care.
Yeah, it depends on the league, honestly, but some permit it, some do not, and
It's all up to the league owners at the end of the day. Not gonna be complaining.
I think it always makes it a little bit more fun when you have it in your playoffs, not just grand finals.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, it looks like Monarchs might be trying to do the same kind of deal that did with the shield instead of the Osa and the same kind of a martyr thing up at hatch.
Certainly an aggressive play, showing. Yeah, I mean, you're copying your homework, and maybe you get the right answer here, but I feel like it's a very risky idea.
Definitely. I mean, you're definitely taking a gamble by doing this.
You know, especially if we see that if Alchemists get a ping onto the Amaru or start to recognize what's going on here, that might be a, not an end, but certainly not helpful. Hater with the first big pick, and at 15 in the game so far. Beautiful start, or beautiful big game for him. Over top if he wants it. He misses the C4. Plant's gonna go down here, and you're low, but it's not gonna be enough. The plant's gonna come, and you're gonna see Alchemist force an opposed plant. Recap finds a big one. But the problem is Avara falls down the hatch, and
Players on the hatch. I mean, the players on Mars, they might have both only
28 seconds left. They have to make something happen here. Tater gets 12. With a player on the window, this is a very hard site to win here. They have to get ground. They have to be able to get rid of this monster. They have to get rid of the window, and they don't have the time. DCAT gets 1. He's able to take out the monster, but he has to defuse and hope that Averis can hold him. But he can't because Hater's walking up to 2 gets the final pick. That's a Monarchs going to match point, and they looked very good on that round. Despite losing the backstab of their Amaru, they were still able to recuperate and get the plant down.
Yeah, and I think that once again it came so close there. We saw that Monty was below 35 health there. He was right so close, and if the C4 was just a little bit more, it would have been the end. But instead, you're going to see...
I'm kind of surprised Zinx didn't have his goggles on. He could see through the smoke if he turned them on. Maybe the Thatcher EMP. Did they have a Thatcher? If they did, that could have deactivated the glasses.
They did not. Or no, they did have a Thatcher, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be my only reason why Zinx wasn't able to get that kill. Planting in the unorthodox corner where you could see him from sight as free as day if you had the glasses on. So my only guess is that Zinx had to have had his stuff EMP'd or he forgot, which I'm hopefully going with the former on that one.
You'd certainly help, and I think this is arguably the biggest round for Alchemists. Is you see a lot of players that are in their do or die. Oh shit! Shit! Come on! Damn it! So bitch. Never once have I seen the worst timer on the planet. Damn.
You. Don't worry, it's not getting like a radio cast from me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make up for the fact for a little second.
Yup. Don't worry, round's just starting. Looks like they're doing the same kind of clash deal upstairs, which did work for them the last time they were up here. The real question is, can Alchemists make kind of an adaptation to be able to kill this clash up here?
There we go, we didn't at least miss all the action.
The question is, do they know he's getting it? If they don't, that shotgun and that SP-11 could be so unbelievably deadly.
But you see him run back instead, taking the save point here, and
that's what you want.
Time's certainly not looking great.
As safe as you can.
Yeah, the problem here is the time, as this hold so far from Monarchs has been long enough that the verticality hasn't been cleared, and you might very well have to make up an improvising thing here. It's just not coming fast enough.
Absolutely, and you're wondering, what is the push here for Alchemist? Hater gets 1, but DCAG refrags under them. I'm trying to find out where the take is here. DCAG, he has custom control, but Hater gets another one. He's unstoppable right now. 19 kills, Pseudo gets 1. Can DCAG make a play here? Ratting down bottom custom, finds the Cade. Recap gets him. 1 versus 4. Can Zinx make a miracle play clutch? He was able to do it on Nighthaven. Has his luck run out, or is he able, or is Monarchs able to finally close this out once and for all?
I mean, yeah, you certainly have a little bit of time here to work with, but you have to be perfect, and he might not know. It's going to be down to the brass tacks to at least find 1, but everything is going to be hard from here on out. They know where you are. You're not going to be able to drop or anything. Finding damage at least, but you're low already. You still have so much you must do. You're making it close. You're trying to at least bring it all the way. No way, right? No way. No way. No way, no way, no, 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 no. What? No, 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 what?
What happened now?
Oh no, did it already end, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it just ended. Zinx was able to kill 2, and then he died to the cave. And
well,
it looked like
the connection biffs it, but we do see a Monarchs 2-0 win.
Absolutely, and you gotta give your highlight player a diabolical. Dropping 19 kills on that board matchup, that is something you do not see every day. That was an absolutely huge matchup coming from him.
Bit of a masterclass from him, and well, we certainly hope for more. You'd hope for that final map, but that'll be all for tonight. I'll see y'all tomorrow for NLG, X-Force, and Redemption.